Welcome back to Doomsday Aftermath. Consider subscribing this channel, and let's begin the story. I'm Gene Carlisle, 41 years old when everything collapsed. I worked construction since I was 19, started as a grunt hauling materials on residential sites, worked my way to operator, ran excavators, backhoes, cranes, got my licenses, made decent money, around $68,000 annually before overtime. Never married. Came close once. Woman named Jennifer. We dated for 4 years. She wanted kids, white picket fence, stability, normal things. I wanted to dig a hole in the ground and fill it with supplies. She left. Can't blame her. The property I bought was in Ashford Mills, small town, population 9,000, far enough from major cities to avoid immediate chaos, close enough to supply routes for scavenging. I paid $112,000 for a corner lot with a ranch house from the 60s. The house was livable. Barely. Foundation cracked, roof needed replacing. But the lot was 3/4 of an acre. Zoning was agricultural. Nobody cared what I did underground as long as I didn't interfere with water mains or sewage. I started digging the week I closed escrow. 110 feet straight down. Took me 11 months working nights and weekends. I'd come home from operating heavy machinery all day, and I'd dig by hand. Bucket and rope. Pickaxe, shovel. My hands developed calluses on top of calluses, hit bedrock at 90 feet. Rented a jackhammer, told the rental company I was doing foundation repair. They didn't ask questions. At 110 feet, I started excavating the chamber, 2,200 square feet. I poured concrete in sections, reinforced with rebar every 8 inches, walls 5 feet thick, ceiling 4 feet, could withstand a direct artillery strike, probably. Installed air filtration systems rated for NBC threats. Nuclear, biological, chemical, scrubbers, oxygen generators. Backup systems for the backup systems. I tested everything obsessively. Water was stored in 8,000-gallon tanks. Multiple filtration stages. Reverse osmosis. UV sterilization. Rainwater collection topside fed through buried lines with multiple backflow preventers. Power came from solar panels disguised as roof tiles. Battery banks could store enough for a month without sun. I also installed a methane digester connected to the composting toilet. Every bit of waste became fuel. Nothing wasted. Food storage covered the entire south wall. Freeze-dried meals, MREs, rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, canned meat, protein bars, everything vacuum-sealed and dated. I calculated 7 years of supplies at 3,000 calories daily. But I didn't trust stored food alone. I built a hydroponics room, 16 growing racks, automated systems. I could grow lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, strawberries, herbs, green beans, peas. I spent 3 years perfecting nutrient ratios, testing plant varieties, tweaking light cycles. I could produce 80% of nutritional needs indefinitely. The armory was climate-controlled. Rifles, shotguns, handguns, crossbow, compound bow. Ammunition counted in tens of thousands. I'm not paranoid. I'm prepared. Security system had 20 CCTV cameras, thermal imaging, motion sensors, audio pickups. Everything recorded to redundant servers. I could monitor every approach to the property. The entrance was through the basement of the house. False wall panel that slid aside. Behind it was a steel ladder descending into darkness. At the bottom was an airlock. 2 hatches. Steel, 8 inches thick. Combination locks that changed weekly according to an algorithm only I knew. I built a decontamination chamber, chemical shower, UV sterilization, air filtration. If something biological happened, I could scrub myself clean before entering the main bunker. Living quarters were utilitarian. Bedroom. Bathroom with composting toilet and shower. Kitchen area. Living space with monitoring station. Workshop with machining equipment. Medical bay. Library with 10,000 books and complete offline copies of Wikipedia and medical databases. Total cost was $540,000. I made $68,000 a year. I took loans, maxed credit cards, borrowed against my 401k, sold everything I owned, lived on ramen and tap water, wore clothes until they fell apart, drove a truck from 1994 with 300,000 miles. Every cent went to the bunker. My brother Marcus thought I was insane. We fought about it constantly. He'd call me paranoid, delusional, wasting my life. I'd tell him to wait and see. We stopped talking 5 years ago after he tried to stage an intervention. Showed up with my cousin and a therapist. Wanted me to get help. I told them to leave. They did. Haven't heard from Marcus since. Friends from work would invite me out. Bowling, sports bars, camping trips. I'd decline, always working on the bunker. Eventually, they stopped inviting me. I became that weird loner, the guy who kept to himself. Probably had manifestos in his basement. They weren't entirely wrong. I lived in the bunker more than the house. I'd finish work, drive home, go straight down. The house above was just cover. I had a couch, a mattress on the floor, a microwave. Enough to maintain appearances. But I lived underground. I'd cook elaborate meals, exercise, read, watch movies on my digital library, test systems, run drills, practice emergency procedures. I'd do month-long isolation tests, seal myself in, use only stored supplies, no topside. Prove sustainability. It always worked. Then the world ended, and I discovered sustainability isn't survival. The outbreak started on a Thursday, March 22nd. I was operating an excavator on a commercial site. Digging foundation trenches for a new strip mall. My phone buzzed. Emergency alert. Active shooter situation at the hospital. Avoid area. Shelter in place. Then, another alert. Chemical spill at the airport. Hazmat teams responding. Stay indoors. Then another. Mass casualty event downtown. All emergency services overwhelmed. The foreman shut down the site. Sent everyone home. Traffic was already gridlocked. Sirens everywhere. Helicopters overhead. I didn't go home. I went to the nearest sporting goods store. Walked in. The place was already getting crowded. Panicked shoppers. I grabbed a cart, filled it with ammunition. All my calibers, every box they had. The clerk was too overwhelmed to question it. Next, I hit a pharmacy. Grabbed antibiotics, pain medication, insulin, antiseptics. Everything I could carry. Hardware store. Batteries, duct tape, zip ties, plastic sheeting. I loaded my truck, drove to the property. The roads were chaos, accidents, people fleeing. I made it in 40 minutes. Should have taken 15. I backed the truck to the basement door, carried everything down, multiple trips. My arms screamed. I didn't care. Last trip topside, I grabbed my go bag, checked the street. Neighbors were boarding windows, loading cars. The Kowalski family next door was arguing. Husband wanted to leave. Wife wanted to stay. I went down the ladder, sealed both hatches, engaged the locks. I was inside. Safe. Isolated. I turned on the monitors. 20 cameras. 20 different views of the world ending. The first 24 hours were chaos. People running. Cars crashing. Fires spreading. Police and military trying to establish order. Failing. I watched Mrs. Kowalski get attacked in her driveway. Watched her husband try to save her. Watched them both go down. Watched their teenage daughter run. Watched her not make it. I watched my entire neighborhood get overrun. Camera 7 caught a National Guard convoy rolling through. They stopped, set up a perimeter, started evacuating survivors. They got maybe 30 people out before they were overwhelmed. The soldiers fought, died, turned. Camera 12 showed the elementary school 3 blocks away. They'd set it up as a shelter. Hundreds of people packed inside. The infected got in somehow. The screaming lasted hours. I watched it all. Documented everything. Took notes, timestamps, infection vectors, response times, behavior patterns. The infected were different from what movies showed. They didn't run, didn't coordinate. They just shambled. Slow, relentless, drawn to sound, to movement. They'd cluster around noise, pounding on doors, climbing over each other, but they couldn't think, couldn't plan, just hunger. They didn't need food. I watched one stand in place for 6 hours, not eating, not resting, just existing. When a car alarm went off, it started moving, slow, direct, like a moth to flame. They attacked animals. I saw a dog get cornered. 3 infected tore it apart. But they didn't eat it, just killed it, left it. They ignored each other completely, would walk right past, bump into each other, no reaction, and they never stopped, never slept, never tired. Just an endless shambling existence. By day 3, the neighborhood was quiet. The living were dead or gone. The infected wandered, sometimes alone, sometimes in loose groups. No pattern I could identify. I started analyzing, making plans. The bunker was perfect for this. Air filtration meant no infection risk. Food and water for years. Power indefinitely. I could wait them out, however long it took. Week 1, I maintained routines. Woke at 6, exercised, ate breakfast, monitored cameras, tended hydroponics, read, ate lunch. More monitoring, dinner, entertainment. Sleep at 10, strict schedule, structure, discipline. Week 2, the routine started slipping. I'd sleep late, skip meals, spend hours just staring at the monitors, watching infected wander aimlessly, watching the world decay. Week 3, I went topside for the first time. Climbed the ladder at 2 a.m., unsealed the hatches. The basement was dark, silent. I crept upstairs. The house smelled stale. Dust on everything. I looked out a window. The street was empty. A car sat in the middle of the road, doors open, no one inside. Body on the sidewalk. Couldn't tell if infected or dead. I stood there for 20 minutes, just breathing unfiltered air, feeling the slight draft through a cracked window, hearing the silence that wasn't complete silence. Wind, distant groaning, the creak of settling houses. Then I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, dragging. Something was in the house. I drew my pistol, moved to the stairs, listened. More footsteps. Bedroom above. Moving randomly, no purpose. I climbed slowly, each step careful. Silent, the bedroom door was open. Inside was one of them. Male, maybe 50. Still wearing pajamas. Face gray, eyes clouded, jaw slack. He was just standing there, facing the window, swaying slightly. I aimed, fired, suppressed shot, mechanical thump. His head snapped. He dropped. I stood there breathing hard. First kill. First time facing one directly instead of through cameras. My hands were shaking. I dragged the body downstairs, out the back door, into the yard. I'd dispose of it later. Went back down the ladder, sealed the hatches, sat at the bottom of the shaft, hyperventilating. I'd just killed someone. Something. Whatever they were now. Took me an hour to calm down. Week 4. I started going topside regularly, testing myself, proving I could handle it, always at night, always armed. I'd clear the house, check the yard, look at the street, then return. Short exposures, building tolerance. Week 6. I ventured into the neighbor's yard. The Kowalskis were all dead. I'd watched it happen. Their house sat empty. I broke a back window, climbed through. Flashlight in one hand, pistol in the other. The smell hit me. Decay, old blood, death. I found Mr. Kowalski in the living room, or what was left of him, torn apart, dried blood everywhere. I didn't look too close. Mrs. Kowalski was in the kitchen, slumped against the cabinets, head caved in. Probably Mr. Kowalski trying to stop her after she turned. Their daughter Amy was nowhere. Maybe she made it out. Probably not. I searched quickly. Found food in the pantry, canned goods mostly. Took what I could carry, found batteries, candles, first aid supplies. Found a photo album on the coffee table, flipped through it. Birthday parties, vacations, normal American family. All dead now. I took the album, don't know why. Brought it back to the bunker, put it on a shelf. Evidence that people had existed here, had lived, had mattered. Week 8. I was clearing a 3-block radius, going house to house, taking supplies, killing infected I encountered. I'd gotten efficient, methodical. Headshots from 10 yards, quick, clean, dragged the body out of sight. I found a sporting goods store, already looted. But the back storage room was intact. Lock was good. I picked it. Inside was camping equipment, freeze-dried food, water filters, ammunition, jackpot. I made 4 trips, loading a wheelbarrow, rolling it back to my property, transferring supplies to the bunker. On the 5th trip, I saw her. Woman, maybe 35. Alive, not infected. She was in the sporting goods store. We both froze. She had a crowbar. I had a rifle. We stared at each other for 10 seconds, 20, 30. "You're alive," she said finally. Her voice was hoarse, unused. "Yeah, you too. I'm not infected. I can see that." More silence. "I'm just taking some supplies," she said. "I'll leave. I don't want trouble. Take what you need." She relaxed slightly, lowered the crowbar. "You live around here?" she asked. I hesitated. Giving away the bunker location meant risk, but lying seemed pointless. "Close." She nodded, grabbed a backpack, started loading it with food, water bottles, batteries. "There's more in the back," I said. "Storage room, lock's open." "Thanks." She moved past me, careful, keeping distance. I let her go. Finished loading my wheelbarrow, left. Didn't see her again. Week 10, I found a survivor camp. I was scavenging 4 blocks north. Heard voices, followed the sound. Careful, quiet. 6 people. Set up in a fortified house, barricades, guards. They'd built something. I watched from across the street, studying them. They seemed organized, cooperative. No obvious signs of conflict. Part of me wanted to approach, introduce myself, join them. Part of me knew that was dangerous. Groups meant politics, conflict, shared resources, risk. I stayed hidden, watched for an hour, then left. Week 12, the survivor camp was gone. I went back to observe, found bodies. The infected had gotten in somehow, overrun them. 6 corpses, all freshly turned, wandering the house. I put them down from a distance, felt nothing. 6 people who'd worked together, survived 2 months. Dead because they centralized, because they made noise, because they attracted attention. I'd made the right choice, staying alone. Week 14. I heard a voice on the shortwave radio. "This is Captain Sarah Chen, U.S. Army. Broadcasting from Firebase Sentinel. If anyone receives this, we are establishing a safe zone. Grid coordinates 429er-873. Repeat, Firebase Sentinel is operational. We have supplies, medical care, protection. All survivors welcome. I plotted the coordinates. 60 miles southeast. Military installation in the mountains. 60 miles through infected territory. Through collapsed infrastructure. Alone, but organized military. Resources. Community. Maybe even a path forward. I thought about it for 2 days. Really considered, decided against it. The bunker was safe. Proven. I had everything I needed. Going to Firebase Sentinel meant abandoning security for uncertainty. I kept listening to the broadcasts. Sarah Chen transmitted twice daily. Same message, same coordinates, same promise of safety. Week 16. The broadcasts changed. This is Captain Chen. Firebase Sentinel is under siege. Infected herd estimated 10,000 strong. We're holding but need reinforcements. Any military personnel receiving this, we need support. Civilians shelter in place. Do not approach. Repeat, do not approach. Week 17. The broadcasts stopped. I tried different frequencies. Nothing. Just static. Firebase Sentinel had fallen. I felt relief. I'd made the right choice staying put. Going there would have been suicide. But I also felt grief. Sarah Chen was probably dead. Everyone there. Another failed attempt at organized survival. Month 5. I started having problems. Not with the bunker. Systems were running perfectly. Air, water, power, food, everything optimal. The problem was me. I'd stopped exercising regularly. Stopped maintaining strict schedules. I'd sleep 12 hours, wake for 8, sleep again, no pattern. I'd eat once a day, sometimes less. Not because supplies were short, because I didn't care. The hydroponics were neglected, plants dying. I'd water them sporadically, no consistent care. Production dropped 70%. I'd sit at the monitors for hours, watching nothing, empty streets, wandering infected. Decay, just staring. I stopped shaving, stopped showering regularly, stopped caring about hygiene. What was the point? No one to see me, no one to smell me. I was alone. Completely, utterly, possibly forever. The isolation was destroying me. Month 6. I started talking to myself constantly. Full conversations, out loud. I'd narrate actions. Okay, Gene, time to check the tomatoes. Looking rough. Should probably water them. Yeah, probably. Will you? Maybe later. Come on, do it now. Fine. I'd argue with myself. Different voices, different perspectives. It helped. Made the silence less oppressive. I named the cameras. Camera 1 was Harold. Camera 7 was Patricia. I'd greet them when I checked feeds. Morning, Harold. How's the street looking? Pretty quiet. Thanks, Harold. I knew it was insane. Did it anyway. Month 7. I found a dog. I was topside scavenging. Heard barking, followed the sound, found a German shepherd, skinny, limping, covered in scars, but alive. I approached slowly. It growled. I stopped. Pulled out beef jerky from my pack. Tossed it. The dog sniffed. Ate. I tossed more. Closer. We did this for 30 minutes. Eventually, the dog let me touch it. I checked for bites. For infection. Nothing. Just malnutrition and injuries. I picked it up. Carried it back to the bunker. It didn't fight. Too weak. I cleaned its wounds. Fed it small amounts. Didn't want to shock its system. Gave it water. Made a bed from blankets. The dog slept for 18 hours straight. When it woke, it looked at me and wagged its tail. I named him Ranger. Everything changed with Ranger. Now I had someone to care for. Someone who needed me. Someone warm and alive and present. I talked to Ranger constantly. He didn't understand. Didn't matter. He listened. He was there. I started maintaining routines again. For Ranger. He needed regular feeding, exercise, attention. I took him topside twice daily. Bathroom breaks, fresh air. He'd alert me to infected before I saw them. Better hearing, better smell. He became my early warning system. I started exercising again. For Ranger. He needed walks, play, stimulation. The hydroponics improved. I grew vegetables Ranger could eat. Sweet potatoes, carrots, green beans. I was living again, not just surviving, living, because I had someone depending on me. Month 9, Ranger got sick. He stopped eating, couldn't keep water down. Fever, shaking. I tried everything, antibiotics, fluids, electrolytes. Nothing worked. He died on day 6. I carried him topside, buried him behind the house, deep hole. I didn't want anything digging him up. I stood over the grave for an hour. Couldn't cry. Tears wouldn't come, just empty. I went back down the ladder, sealed the hatches, sat on the floor. The bunker was silent again, empty, just me. I'd had 4 months with Ranger, 4 months of purpose, companionship, life. Now it was gone. Month 10. I stopped going topside. Stopped maintaining systems, stopped caring. The hydroponics failed completely. Plants died. I'd let them rot. I ate once every 2 days, freeze-dried meals, barely enough to function. I slept 20 hours daily. What else was there? The monitors stayed on, but I stopped watching. What was the point? The world was dead. Everyone was gone. I was alone. This is how it ends, I thought. Not with infected, not with starvation, with giving up. I started considering it. Really considering. I had a pistol. 1 round, quick, clean, painless probably. I sat with the gun for hours, feeling the weight, thinking about it. Then I heard something on the shortwave, faint, weak signal, but definitely a transmission. Anyone receiving this settlement at Riverbend? 40 people. Need supplies. Trading available. Frequency 7.2. I grabbed the radio, turned up the volume, adjusted the antenna. The message repeated, automated broadcast, settlement at Riverbend. 40 people. They were alive, surviving, together. I plotted Riverbend on my maps, 23 miles northwest, small town, population maybe 2,000 before, 23 miles, manageable distance. But that meant leaving the bunker, abandoning safety, trusting strangers, risk. I sat with the radio for 2 days, listening to the broadcast loop, thinking Ranger had saved me, given me 4 months of life, real life. Then he died and I'd retreated, given up, started dying again. The bunker was a tomb, safe, secure, dead. Riverbend was risk, uncertainty, but also possibility. Month 10, day 23. I made a decision. I packed, backpack with supplies, food, water, medical kit, ammunition, tools, maps, radio. I sealed the bunker, left everything intact, power running, systems functional. Someone might need it someday. I left a note on the desk. To whoever finds this, everything works. Instructions in the files. Use what you need. Good luck. Gene Carlisle. I climbed the ladder, unsealed the upper hatch, crawled into the basement. The house was dark, dusty. I'd been down there 10 months. Felt like decades. I grabbed my rifle, checked the load, took a breath. Then I walked out the front door into daylight for the first time in weeks. The sun was blinding. I had to shield my eyes, adjust. The street was empty, cars rusted, windows broken, weeds everywhere. Nature reclaiming. I checked my compass. Northwest, 23 miles. I started walking. Made it 6 blocks before I encountered infected. 3 of them, clustered around an overturned trash can. They heard my footsteps, turned, started moving toward me. I raised the rifle. 3 shots, 3 headshots. They dropped. I kept walking. The journey took 4 days. I moved carefully, avoiding large groups of infected, taking back roads, sheltering in abandoned buildings at night. I saw evidence of other survivors, barricades, messages spray-painted on walls, supply caches marked with symbols, but no living people. Day 3, I found a gas station. The pumps were dry, but the convenience store had supplies. I restocked, kept moving. Day 4, I reached Riverbend. The town was fortified, walls made from vehicles and shipping containers, guard towers. I could see people moving inside, living people. I approached slowly, hands visible, non-threatening. A voice called out, "Stop right there, show your hands." I complied. "I'm not infected. Heard your broadcast, looking for shelter." "Lower your weapons." I put the rifle on the ground, stepped back. 2 guards approached, armed, cautious. They checked me for bites, for infection, searched my pack. "He's clean," one said. They escorted me inside. Riverbend settlement was bigger than I expected. 43 people. They'd barricaded a full city block. Houses, stores, a park, gardens growing, livestock penned, children playing, a functioning community. They took me to their leader, a woman named Margaret, late 50s, former mayor apparently. She'd organized the survivors, built this place. "You're welcome to stay," she said. "But we have rules. Everyone works, everyone contributes. No violence. No stealing. Disputes go to council. Break the rules, you leave. Understood?" "Understood. What skills do you have?" "Construction, excavation, heavy machinery, electrical, plumbing." Her eyes lit up. "We need that, desperately. You're in." They gave me a house, small, 2 rooms, but mine. I had neighbors, people on either side, above and below. I could hear them, living, talking, existing. It was overwhelming and wonderful. I started working immediately. They needed fortifications improved, water systems repaired, power infrastructure rebuilt. I knew how to do all of it. I worked with a team, 5 people. We'd collaborate, plan, execute, problem solve together. I'd forgotten what that felt like. Working with others, relying on them, being relied upon. Week 2 in Riverbend, I met Thomas, engineer before. Now he ran the water systems. We worked together on a pumping station repair, talked while we worked. He'd been here since the beginning, lost his family, wife, 2 kids, all died in the first week. "I wanted to die too," he said. Had the gun in my mouth. Finger on the trigger. Then Margaret knocked on my door, asked if I could help fix a generator. I said yes. Then she asked about a water pump, then electrical, then construction. She kept asking. I kept saying yes. Before I knew it, I had a reason to wake up. "She saved you," I said. "She saved all of us." Week 3, I met Rachel, doctor. She ran the medical clinic. She was overwhelmed, injuries, illnesses, pregnancies. 1 doctor for 43 people. "We need more medical personnel," she said. "Training people, but it's slow. Most don't have aptitude. I know basic first aid." "Good, you're now my assistant. Come by tomorrow. I'll teach you." I learned. Suturing, setting bones, administering medication, diagnosis, treatment. I wasn't a doctor, but I became competent, useful. Week 5, there was an attack. Infected herd, maybe 200. They'd been drawn by noise, activity. The settlement was too successful, too alive. We fought. Everyone capable grabbed weapons. We lined the walls, fired into the mass. They kept coming, relentless. Climbing over the fallen, pressing against our barricades, we held. Barely. Lost 2 people. Jeremy fell off a tower, broke his neck. Maria got bit during hand-to-hand. We had to put her down before she turned. The herd eventually dispersed. We'd killed maybe 100. The rest wandered off. We buried Jeremy and Maria. Margaret gave eulogies. We mourned. Then we rebuilt. Reinforced the walls, improved watchtowers, established better patrol routes, learned from mistakes. Month 3 in Riverbend, I was integrating, making friends, building relationships. Thomas became a close friend. We'd work together daily, eat dinner, talk about the world before, share stories. Rachel and I grew close too. She was brilliant, dedicated, worked herself to exhaustion regularly. I'd force her to take breaks. She'd protest. I'd insist. You can't help anyone if you collapse, I'd say. Fine, but only 15 minutes. We'd sit, drink terrible coffee substitute made from roasted acorns, talk. She'd tell me about her patients, the challenges, the small victories. I'd tell her about the bunker, the isolation. How close I came to giving up. I'm glad you didn't, she said. Me too. Month 5. Margaret called a council meeting. New development. We received a radio transmission, another settlement, 20 miles west. They want to establish trade, exchange resources, information. I think we should send representatives, establish contact. The council debated. Risk of exposure, infection, raiders, but potential benefits, supplies, knowledge, expansion. They voted. Send representatives. 3 people. 1-week journey. Margaret looked at me. Jean, you have survival skills, navigation, combat experience. Will you go? Yes. Thomas volunteered. So did a woman named Claire. Former soldier, weapons expert. We prepared supplies, ammunition, maps, radio. We'd leave at dawn, travel west, make contact, return. Simple plan. Day 1. We made 12 miles. Clear weather. Minimal infected encounters. We sheltered in an abandoned warehouse overnight. Took shifts on watch. I had second watch. Midnight to 4 a.m. Sat by a window watching the darkness, listening. Thomas woke, joined me. Can't sleep? I asked. Nervous. About what? Everything. The trip. The other settlement. What if they're hostile? What if it's a trap? Then we fight, adapt, survive. He nodded. Quiet for a while. You ever think about before? He asked. Like really think about it? Sometimes. I miss stupid things. Drive-through coffee, streaming movies, fresh sushi, air conditioning, traffic jams even. Traffic jams? Yeah. Meant the world was working. People going places, doing things. Now it's just empty. Not empty. We're here. 43 people. Used to be billions. 43 is enough. Enough to rebuild, to continue. He smiled. You really believe that? I have to. Day 2. We reached the coordinates. Found the settlement. It was bigger than Riverbend. Maybe 70 people. Better fortifications, more organized. Their leader was a man named Victor. Ex-military, hard, efficient. He ran the place like a base. Strict discipline, clear hierarchy. Welcome, he said. Margaret's representatives? Yes. Good. Let's talk trade. We negotiated for 3 hours. They had ammunition, medical supplies, fuel. We had food, livestock, seeds. We established exchange rates, set up future meeting points, agreed to share information about infected movements, other settlements, threats. It was productive, professional, successful. We stayed overnight. They gave us shelter. Food. We met their people. Compared notes, shared survival strategies. One of them, a woman named Lisa, pulled me aside. Jean Carlisle? I looked at her. Didn't recognize her. Do I know you? You worked construction, Baxter Industries, about 8 years ago? Memory clicked. Lisa. She'd been an accountant, handled payroll. Lisa, yeah, I remember. Small world, even now. We talked, caught up. She'd been here since week 2, lost her husband. Survived alone for a month before finding Victor's group. This place is good, she said. Strict, but it works. We're surviving. Riverbend is good too. Different structure, more democratic, but stable. 2 settlements working together. Maybe we can actually rebuild? Maybe. Day 3, we left. Headed back to Riverbend. Positive contact established. Trade routes secured. Information shared. Success. We made it 8 miles before the ambush. Raiders, 6 of them, emerged from buildings on both sides, armed, aggressive. Drop your weapons. Give us your supplies. We didn't comply. Claire moved first, shot the lead raider, center mass. He dropped. Then chaos, gunfire, everyone shooting. I dove behind a car, returned fire. Saw Thomas go down, leg wound. He was screaming. Claire was fighting 2 raiders hand to hand. She was good, trained, but outnumbered. I flanked. Shot 1 raider in the back, headshot the other. 3 raiders left. They were retreating, falling back. We pursued, dropped 2 more. The last one fled. Disappeared into a building. We didn't chase. Checked ourselves. Thomas had a through and through. Femoral artery missed. Lucky. I applied pressure, bandaged it. Claire had a knife wound, shallow, across her ribs, not serious. I was uninjured, adrenaline shaking. We need to move, Claire said, in case they regroup. We helped Thomas, made it 2 miles before stopping, found a secure location, treated wounds properly. Rachel had trained me well. Thomas would survive if infection didn't set in. We reached Riverbend on day 5, exhausted, injured, but alive. Margaret met us at the gate, saw Thomas bleeding, saw our condition. What happened? Raiders, 6 of them, ambushed us on the way back. Casualties? 3 raiders dead, 3 escaped. Thomas wounded, Claire wounded. But we made contact with Victor's settlement. Trade established. Margaret looked relieved. Get to medical. Report to council tomorrow. Rachel treated us. Thomas needed stitches, antibiotics, rest. Claire's wound was cleaned and bandaged. I was checked over. Minor scrapes, nothing serious. Rachel pulled me aside after. You okay? Yeah. You killed people today. They were trying to kill us. Still, that's different from infected. I know. She touched my arm. If you need to talk. I'm fine, really. I wasn't fine. Killing infected was mechanical, necessary. They weren't human anymore. But raiders were alive. Human. They'd made choices. Bad choices. But human. And I'd killed them. I told myself it was self-defense. Survival. Us or them. Didn't make it easier. Month 7 in Riverbend. We'd established regular trade with Victor's settlement. Bi-weekly caravans. Exchanging resources. Information. People even. Some individuals moved between settlements. Finding better fits. Utilizing skills. Riverbend grew. We absorbed 3 more survivors. Then 5. Then 8. We were up to 54 people. We expanded the perimeter, fortified new buildings, increased food production, built a school for children, established a council court for disputes. We were becoming something more than survival. We were becoming civilization, small, fragile, but real. I was working on a major project, restoring electricity to the settlement, solar panels, battery storage, wiring, distribution. We had pieces, needed to assemble them. Thomas and I worked 12-hour days, climbing poles, running lines, installing panels, testing circuits. Month 8, we got power. First time in over a year. Lights came on. People cheered. Children stared in wonder. Some of them had never seen electric lights. We celebrated. Margaret declared a holiday. We had a feast, music, dancing even, people smiling, laughing, being human. I sat with Rachel. We watched people enjoy themselves. "You did this," she said. "Thomas helped, lots of people helped. But you led it. You made it happen. Just doing my part." She kissed me. Sudden, unexpected. Soft, I kissed back. We'd been circling each other for months, growing closer, but both hesitant, scared of loss, of attachment in a world where everything ended. But in that moment, we stopped being scared. That night, we were together. In her house, her bed. First time in years for both of us. It was awkward, desperate, perfect. Afterwards, we lay there, holding each other, breathing. "I don't know what tomorrow brings," she said. "We could die. The settlement could fall. Everything could end. I know. But right now, this moment, I'm happy." Me too. Month 9, raiders attacked. Not the same group from before. Different, bigger, more organized. 20 of them, maybe more. They hit at dawn. Coordinated assault. Breached the east wall, poured in. We fought, everyone fought, armed and unarmed. Men and women, even teenagers. The battle lasted 3 hours. We killed 8 raiders. Lost 11 of our own, including Thomas. Shot defending the water station. He died instantly. Painless, hopefully. The raiders eventually retreated. We'd held, but at cost. We buried our dead. Thomas, others, people I'd known, worked with, lived beside. Rachel was devastated. She'd treated every casualty, tried to save everyone, lost too many. I held her while she cried. Nothing I could say. Just be there. Margaret called emergency counsel. We needed better defenses. More weapons, training, organization. "We can't survive attacks like this repeatedly," she said. "We need to be proactive. Hunt down raiders. Eliminate threats before they reach us." Debate followed. Some argued for defensive posture, some for aggressive. It got heated. Eventually they voted. Form a militia. Train fighters. Conduct patrols. Hunt raiders. I volunteered. So did Claire. 10 others. We became Riverbend's military. Claire led us. She had training, experience. She drilled us. Weapons, tactics, movement, communication. We became effective, disciplined, dangerous. Month 10. We hunted raiders, tracked the group that attacked us, found their camp, 12 miles south. They'd fortified an old factory, maybe 15 people still there. We scouted, planned, waited for optimal conditions. Then we struck. Night assault. Coordinated. We hit hard, fast, overwhelming force. It was brutal. Close quarters, gunfire, screaming, blood. We killed all 15. Took no prisoners, no mercy. They'd attacked us, killed our people. We responded. We burned the factory, took their supplies, ammunition, food, weapons, sent a message. Attack Riverbend and you die. We returned, victorious, grim. We'd avenged our dead, eliminated a threat. But I felt hollow. We'd become killers, executioners. Was that survival? Or had we lost something essential? Margaret addressed the settlement. What we did was necessary. Survival requires hard choices. But we don't celebrate death. We honor those we lost. We defend those who remain. And we build something worth defending. Month 12. 1 year since I left the bunker. 1 year since I chose risk over safety. Riverbend had grown to 68 people. We'd absorbed 2 more small groups, established trade with 3 other settlements, created a regional network. We had electricity, running water, food production, medical care, education, law, culture. We had community. Rachel and I were together, living in the same house, building a life. She was pregnant, 3 months. We'd talked about it, decided despite the risks, despite the uncertainty. Life continuing, choosing hope. I thought about the bunker sometimes, wondered if it was still there, still sealed, still functional, wondered if I'd made the right choice leaving. But looking at Riverbend, at Rachel, at the future we were building, I knew I had. The bunker was survival. This was living. Month 14. We received a disturbing radio transmission. Warning to all settlements. Large infected herd moving northwest. Estimated 20,000. Repeat, 20,000 infected. Moving approximately 5 miles per day. Current position grid 472918. Seek shelter. Fortify positions. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage. I plotted the coordinates. The herd was 60 miles southeast, moving in our general direction. If it maintained course and speed, we had 12 days, maybe 13. Margaret called emergency council, all settlement leaders, Victor, representatives from other communities, everyone connected by radio. We have options, Margaret said. Evacuate, fortify and fight, disperse and hide. We need to decide quickly. Debate was intense, emotional. Evacuate meant abandoning everything we'd built. Fortify meant possible annihilation. Disperse meant losing community. Victor proposed a 4th option. We coordinate. Multiple settlements working together. Hit the herd from different angles. Thin it. Redirect it. Divide it. You want to fight 20,000 infected? Someone asked. I want to survive. And we won't survive if we run. That herd will destroy every settlement in its path. Then circle back, hunting. We'd be prey forever. Better to fight now. Together. The council voted. Narrow margin. We'd fight. Every settlement contributed fighters. Riverbend sent 20. Victor's settlement sent 30. Other communities sent smaller groups. Total force, 83 fighters. We had 10 days to prepare. Claire organized training. Tactics for fighting large groups. We'd use explosives, fire, choke points, elevation, every advantage we could create. We also prepared fallback positions. If the fight went bad, we needed escape routes, shelters, ways to survive. Rachel and other non-combatants were evacuated to a secure location, 20 miles north, mountainous terrain, defensible. They'd hide until the herd passed or we defeated it. I said goodbye to Rachel at the evacuation point. She was showing now, belly swelling with our child. Come back, she said. I will. Promise me. I promise. We held each other. I felt the baby move between us. Life, future, hope. Then she left and I returned to prepare for war. Day 9. The herd was 20 miles out. We could see the dust cloud, hear the collective groaning, a sound like distant thunder, constant, terrible. We positioned ourselves. 3 kill zones. Narrow valleys the herd would funnel through. We'd set traps, explosives, fire barrels. Overlapping fields of fire. First kill zone was IEDs, improvised explosives, propane tanks, fertilizer bombs, buried and wired, remote detonation. Second kill zone was fire. We'd soak the valley in gasoline, diesel, anything flammable. We'd ignite it, turn the pass into an inferno. Third kill zone was concentrated fire. All 83 fighters, elevated positions, maximum firepower. The plan was sound. Theoretically. Day 10. The herd arrived. They came at dawn, a mass of shuffling dead. packed tight in the valley. Thousands, tens of thousands. We waited until optimal density, then detonated the first IEDs. Explosions ripped through the herd. Bodies flew, limbs separated. The blast echoed off valley walls. Maybe 200 destroyed. Barely a dent. The herd continued, climbing over the dead, pressing forward. Second kill zone. We ignited the fuel. Fire erupted. A wall of flame. Infected walked into it. Burned, collapsed, kept coming. Some made it through, still burning, still moving. The smell was horrific. Burning flesh, hair, chemicals. I gagged, kept firing. Third kill zone. All fighters opened up. Rifles, shotguns, automatic weapons, concentrated fire into the mass. Headshots, precision. Drop them. Move to next target. Drop them. Repeat. We fired for hours. Magazines emptied, reloaded, fired again. The herd thinned. Hundreds dead. Then thousands. But they kept coming. My rifle overheated. I switched to my backup. Kept firing. Infected reached our positions. Started climbing. We fought hand to hand. Knives, axes, crushing skulls with rifle butts. Victor was beside me, swinging a fire axe, splitting heads, roaring. Claire was coordinating, calling targets, directing fire, keeping us organized. We held, barely. Then the herd broke. Not defeated, just dispersed, spread out, wandering in different directions. The density dropped. They became manageable. We'd survived. We counted bodies. Estimated 8,000 infected destroyed. The remaining 12,000 scattered. No longer a unified threat. We'd won. Our casualties, 17 dead, 23 wounded, 43 still combat effective. We'd paid the price, but we'd survived. That night we burned our dead. Military honors. Victor insisted. They died defending communities, defending civilization. They deserved respect. I stood watching the pyres, exhausted, covered in blood and ash, thinking about Thomas, about the 11 from Riverbend who died in the earlier raid, about the 17 today, 28 people dead defending our community, our way of life. But we'd survived. Riverbend survived. The network survived. And tomorrow we'd rebuild. I returned to Riverbend 3 days later. Rachel met me at the gate. She ran. I caught her. We held each other. You came back. I promised. She cried. Relief, joy, I cried too. Release, exhaustion. We'd survived. Together. Month 16, the settlements united officially, formed an alliance, shared resources, coordinated defense, established trade routes, communication networks. We called it the Valley Coalition. 7 settlements, 348 people total. Margaret was elected coalition leader. She'd proven herself. Capable, fair, strong. Victor became military commander. He'd led the defense against the herd. Tactical genius. I was appointed chief engineer, responsible for infrastructure across all settlements, power, water, fortifications. Rachel became chief medical officer, overseeing healthcare, training new medics, coordinating supplies. We weren't just surviving anymore. We were building society. Month 18, Rachel gave birth, a girl. We named her Hope. She was perfect. 10 fingers, 10 toes, healthy, beautiful. I held her, this tiny person, born into a dead world, but alive, crying, breathing, existing. She represented everything we'd fought for, everything we'd lost, everything we'd found. Hope. The name was intentional. A statement, a belief, a promise. The world had ended, but we continued. We rebuilt. We hoped. Month 24. 2 years since I left the bunker. The Valley Coalition had grown to 9 settlements. 512 people. We'd reclaimed a 40-mile radius, cleared infected, established farms, built infrastructure. We had electricity in every settlement. Running water, medical clinics, schools, markets, law enforcement. We'd created civilization, small, fragile, but real. I stood in Riverbend's central square. Hope was walking now, toddling. Rachel was teaching her. She stumbled, laughed, tried again. Around us people lived, worked, talked, laughed, being human. Margaret approached. She looked tired. Leading was exhausting. Jean. We received a long-range transmission from the East Coast. There's a settlement in Virginia claiming 15,000 people. Organized government, infrastructure. 15,000. That's what they claim. Could be exaggeration, could be real. They're asking if anyone is out there. Establishing contact. Are we responding? Council is debating. It's risk, exposure, but also opportunity. If there's 15,000 survivors, we're not alone. Humanity is rebuilding in multiple places. What do you think? She was quiet, looking at the square, at the people, at Hope stumbling and laughing. I think we respond. I think we connect. Because isolation is death. Community is survival. And if we're going to rebuild this world, we need to do it together. I nodded. Then let's respond. That night, I transmitted. High-power broadcast, East Coast frequencies. This is Gene Carlisle, Valley Coalition, Colorado. We're alive. 512 people, 9 settlements. If you're receiving this, you're not alone. We're rebuilding. We're surviving. We're hoping. Respond if able. I waited, listening to static, wondering if anyone would answer. Then a response. Clear. Strong. Valley Coalition. This is New American Republic, Virginia. We receive you. 15,000 confirmed. Multiple settlements, organized government. We are not alone. Repeat, we are not alone. I sat back, stunned, elated. We weren't alone. Humanity survived, in multiple places, rebuilding, continuing. The world had ended, but we remained, and we'd rebuild it. Together. One day, one person, one community at a time. Month 30. The Valley Coalition made contact with 6 other major survivor groups. Coordinated through radio, total population across all groups, approximately 43,000 people. 43,000 from billions. But 43,000 alive, fighting, building. We established the Continental Network, shared information, technology, medicine, strategy. We weren't unified. Different governments, different approaches, but connected, working together. I thought about the bunker often, that tomb I'd built, that perfect isolation chamber. It had saved my life, given me time, resources, preparation, but leaving it had given me everything else. Community, purpose, love, family, hope. The bunker was survival. This was life, and I'd choose life every time. Month 36. 3 years since the outbreak. Hope was 2. Walking, talking, asking questions constantly. She'd never known the world before. This was normal to her. Walls, guards, infected outside, growing food, community. She didn't know what she'd lost because she'd never had it. But she had something we'd lost. She had a future, possibility, a whole life ahead. Rachel and I watched her play. With other children, 5 kids in Riverbend now, more across the coalition, a generation born after the end. They'd rebuild, they'd create, they'd make something new from the ashes. We'd give them that chance, whatever it took. I walked to the wall, looked out at the world beyond. Infected still wandered, dangers remained. The world was still dead, but inside these walls was life. and life was enough. Life was everything. I turned back, walked to Rachel and Hope, my family, my community, my world. The bunker was 110 feet underground, 80 miles southeast, sealed, waiting. I'd never go back. I'd found something better. I'd found home. Thanks for watching, guys. Consider subscribing this channel. I will be back with another story.